Verstappen's future in Red Bull has been brought into question, with the four-time world champion likely to activate his clause if he's below third in the Drivers' Championship around the summer break. Despite the denials coming from both Max and Horner, the sensitivity of this matter allows us to analyze it a bit deeper and witness how shocking of a move we could see before the newly regulated era starts. With Russell and Horner holding informational talks regarding awareness around them, could we see a massive shift in F1's landscape sooner rather than later? There's one very hot topic in the world of Formula One right now, and that is the relationship between Max and Red Bull. The RB21 turned out to be a very difficult beast to handle, and the Dutchman knows that if he continues with the new era, then he might be looking for a new team sooner rather than later. Yes, both he and Horner shut down the allegations that came alive during the Jeddah Grand Prix. However, we need to be aware that situations like this are not going to be commented on publicly. Toto Wolff has been an admirer of Verstappen's services for a long period, and even though he expressed his full faith in the current lineup of Mercedes, we can't turn a blind eye to the fact that he's been flirting with the idea of signing Max for a very long time. There's one argument that he can use heavily on his side: the engine regulations from 2026 onwards. Mercedes are tipped to be the leaders in that regard, along with Ferrari. And with Red Bull being one of the teams pushing the agenda of delaying the new regulation cycle, we can understand why Verstappen might be unhappy with what's currently going on within the team's inner circles. Christian Horner has been quick to dismiss any talks regarding Verstappen's future beyond Red Bull. When talking about it to a greater extent, the team principal of Red Bull said, "There's been a lot of noise outside of the team, and inside of the team as well. I think Max again reaffirmed his commitment yesterday. We're focused on making the car go faster. That is where our focus is, and Max is part of that. He's a committed member of the team, and the rest is all speculation and hearsay. Sort the car out. It doesn't need to become a discussion point. Max is a very loyal driver, and nobody disputes the fact that he's committed to Red Bull. However, there comes a certain point where you have to ask yourself, is my effort appreciated? The development of the car is under a huge question mark, and Verstappen should be aware that the future of Red Bull is practically in his hands. He's the one extracting the most performance out of the car, and if it's not for the four-time world champion's performance, then we're going to see Red Bull in the midfield. Toto Wolff is also a key figure here. The Austrian, although admitting that the future lies within his current lineup, is well aware that once Verstappen becomes available, it might be too hard to ignore the services of such a driver. If Max can compete with the fourth fastest car on the grid and win a championship with the third fastest one, then imagine if the new regulation cycle turns heavily in Mercedes' favor. It wouldn't even need to be a massive difference between them and Ferrari or Honda, for example, just a car with a bit of a wider operating window than Red Bull. When talking about the future of Mercedes, Wolff gave a clear timeline as to when this question is going to be answered. He said, "We didn't have any conversations with Russell at the moment. Where it is with George and Kimi, there is no doubt to question that setup for the future as it goes. We will pick those talks up once we're in the European season. There's no stress. Russell is performing to the highest levels as we've hoped and expected. He is delivering. There's no doubt about that. There is not more you would demand from that. We have this summer window. We have no reason to challenge or question anything as it is now. On the other hand, the summer period is when Verstappen's situation will draw the attention of the media again. The veteran Austrian Helmut Marko went on to say that if the team does not deliver the needed performance by the summer break, we are going to see a lot of talks regarding the future of Max, most likely in a negative manner. There's a clause in his contract that states Verstappen can leave the team if he's below third place in the Drivers' Championship. That's now something Red Bull cannot guarantee. From session to session, from race to race, the form of the Austrian team is changing a lot. Therefore, Red Bull needs to be aware that a post-Verstappen era is a reality that could hit them sooner rather than later. With all of this in mind, Horner's actions are not to be judged.